Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I also rise today to condemn this Labor government for neglecting WA's vital school infrastructure and overseeing a record surge in its reliance on transportable classrooms. And I just want to follow up from some wonderful contributions from the following members, and hopefully I can contribute, and I look forward to the member from Central Wheatbelt's contribution. I think
we're all looking forward to that.
It'll be something worth seeing, I'm sure. Yeah. So this government has failed to deliver on its responsibility to ensure that every student, regardless of postcode, has access to safe, modern and fit-for-purpose learning environments. Instead, we are witnessing a record surge in the government's reliance on band-aid solutions, namely transportable classrooms, as a substitute for real investment and planning. In Warren Blackwood, the evidence is overwhelming. Margaret River Senior High School was built for 650 students in just over 6 months. Enrolments will now surpass 1,240 in the next 6 months. That's nearly double its designated capacity, and yet, instead of proper infrastructure upgrades, this government has offered 2 transportables, a woodwork and metalwork room, which do nothing to solve the critical OHS issues of storage, safe machinery use and student movement. The school community has had no reconfigure classrooms the school community has had to reconfigure classrooms, use corridors for storage, give up staff room and construct makeshift welding bays, all out of their own budget. The government claims it has met its commitments. That is simply not true. The first stage of the original school upgrade, designed to bring the school up to capacity for 1,200 students, has been completed, along with an oval upgrade. The government continues to claim that this school is still operating within capacity, but the capacity with the stage 1 upgrades is 1,200 students. There are currently 1,220 students in the Margaret River High School. The school is desperate for stage 2 to begin, with the enrolments of the school to hit 2,000 in the coming years. We've requested that the Minister visit Margaret River Senior High School to see these issues firsthand, yet we are advised she is not available for the rest of the year. That is extremely disappointing and simply not good enough. Here is the core issue. The Cook Labor government is happy to pour billions into metropolitan infrastructure, new schools in Perth, northern growth suburbs, expansions in the inner city, flashy announcements and photo opportunities. Yet it cannot find the $40 to $50 million to finish what it started in Margaret River. This is not just neglect, it is a deliberate choice to prioritise Perth while leaving the regions behind. The sad reality that some of the families in Margaret River are now choosing to relocate to the metropolitan area when their children reach high school, simply because the local facilities are no longer up to standard and there's going to be no room. That is heartbreaking, and it is the clearest possible sign of policy failure. No family should be forced to leave the community in a town the size of Margaret River just to secure a decent education for their kids. Meanwhile, in Nannup, basic infrastructure like basketball courts, toilets and functioning home economics rooms remain in limbo. These are not luxuries, these are core facilities every student should have. At Greenbushes Primary School, teachers and students are doing their best in ageing weatherboard classrooms that have long needed attention. And we're glad that we have we talked about the pine timber plantations earlier, and it's the first time in a heap of classrooms that I've seen where you've got pine battens screwed to the ceiling to stop the ceiling collapsing on the kids and students. And it's not just one classroom, it's in 4 or 5.
Third well.
Yeah. But they don't complain, they're making do with what they've got. There are ongoing concerns around the floors, the ceilings and the outdated plumbing that causes regular issues as well in Greenbushes. The school library, housed in the old police station, is similarly in need of an upgrade and repair. Parents in regional communities ask a simple question: why should our kids have to learn in conditions that would never be accepted in Perth? Bridgetown High has lost over $500,000 in student-centred funding since 2022. They now rely on donations just to run a breakfast club, replace toilets and give kids somewhere to sit out of the rain. I commend the P&C, local businesses and families who dig deep to support their students. But fundraising, barbecues and raffles should not be the lifeline that keeps a school afloat. Denmark Senior High School is dealing with mould in buildings, confirmed by reports in both 2022 and again in July this year. And yet, instead of urgent action, they are left waiting. At Boyart Brook District High School, what I saw there was deeply concerning. Buildings in poor condition, clear signs of neglect and a lack of basic maintenance by the Department of Education. We're not asking for gold-plated facilities. It's about ensuring students have safe, functional classrooms to learn in. I strongly implore the Minister for Education to visit Boyart Brook District High School and see for herself what staff and students are dealing with every single day. These examples paint a clear picture. Regional students are being treated as second-class citizens. Their parents pay the same taxes, their teachers show the same dedication, but when it comes to school infrastructure, the government's message is, make do with less.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be right.
Despite all of this, I want to place on record my admiration for the principals, teachers and staff across Warren Blackwood. They are working in incredibly difficult circumstances, yet they continue to deliver quality education for our children. Their professionalism and commitment cannot be overstated. I also want to acknowledge the parents and the P&Cs of these schools who volunteer their time, raise funds and provide constant support. They are carrying a burden that should be government's responsibility. So let me break it down for this House. The Margaret River Senior High School is bursting at the seams, with the school concerns ignored. Families are leaving Margaret River because of the condition of the school. Nannup and Greenbushes are working out of ageing facilities that are long overdue for some meaningful maintenance. Bridgetown Senior High School is surviving on community goodwill instead of government support. Denmark Senior High School has mould, safety hazards and inadequate specialist classrooms. And Boyart Brook District High Schools is suffering from years of poor maintenance. This is not good enough. The government's job is to plan, invest and deliver, not delay, deflect and downgrade expectations. I was shocked to hear reports that the former member for South West has allegedly said the school in Margaret River is fine despite not visiting since 2022. If that is the standard of advocacy regional communities can expect from their Labor members, then no wonder that the needs of these schools are ignored. The truth is this, in many of the schools we have visited, transportables would actually be welcome, simply because the current state of permanent classrooms is so poor. That is how low expectations have been allowed to fall. But even so, transportables highlight the lack of long-term planning. They remain band-aids being used as permanent infrastructure. They do nothing to address deep-seated safety issues, they do nothing to future-proof schools, and they are still a symbol of this government's short-term metro-first thinking. So let's be clear, this isn't about the envy of Perth. We recognise that growing suburbs need schools, but cannot come at the cost of leaving existing regional schools to crumble. The Labor government's approach is not balanced, it's centralised, city-focused and blind to the realities of country WA. So today I call on the Cook Labor government to ensure that the Education Minister personally tours the schools to see the reality on the ground. Immediately fund the overdue Stage 2 works at Margaret River Senior High School. Allocate urgent capital works funding to Greenbushes, Nannup, Bridgetown, Denmark and Boyart Brook schools, and conduct an independent audit of transportable classroom use across WA and publish the findings. And commit to a fair and balanced school infrastructure program that gives equal weight to regional needs. We cannot accept a two-tier educational system where city students get new buildings and country students get excuses. Invest in regional schools, stop the band-aids, deliver the infrastructure our kids deserve. Our children's education is not a luxury. It is not negotiable, and it must not depend on whether they grow up in Perth or in Warren Blackwood. I commend the motion to the House.